Hey everybody, welcome into Player Profiler today for Wednesday, May 29th. I'm Grindberg, Senior Analyst for the Player Profiler News Desk, and I'm here every Wednesday bringing you the news for Player Profiler today. Let's get this show going with our top story. The Houston Texans agreed with wide receiver Nico Collins on a 3-year extension worth up to $75 million, $52 million guaranteed. Let's get into it. In a major move to solidify their offensive arsenal, the Houston Texans have agreed to a 3-year extension with wide receiver Nico Collins worth up to $75 million and $52 million guaranteed. The deal announced on Tuesday positions the 25-year-old Collins as one of the highest paid wideouts in the league. Drafted 89th overall in 2021 out of Michigan, Collins, coming off a stellar season, greatly benefited from the Texans' acquisition of quarterback C.J. Stroud, the number 2 overall pick in the draft. Stroud was named the AP Offensive Player of the Year, a Rookie of the Year, has developed a strong connection with Collins and will now be an integral part of Houston's offensive plans for years to come. Upon signing the extension, Collins will join an elite group of wide receivers making at least $24 million annually, a list that includes stars like A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Devonta Smith, and DK Metcalf. Collins' new salary will slightly surpass his teammate Stephon Diggs, who averages $23 million annually. Last season, Collins demonstrated his worth by finishing as the wide receiver 12 in fantasy football, recording career highs in receptions, yards. He had 8 touchdowns for 1,200 yards, despite missing 2 games to injury. In Texans' 2 playoff games, he added 11 catches for 164 yards and 1 touchdown. Entering his final year of his rookie contract, Collins played a crucial role in Stroud's record-breaking season. With his extension, Collins is expected to continue being a key player in Stroud's development and the Texans' offensive strategy. The Texans' wide receiver lineup featuring Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and recently signed Stephon Diggs poses an interesting dynamic for the team. While Diggs had a strong start to the 2023 season with 107 catches, 1,183 yards, and 8 touchdowns, his performance, it wandered off in the latter half of the season. This has led some analysis to question his longevity and his role with the offense in Texans. So Tank Dell, although promising, is projected as a strong number 2 receiver, with Diggs potentially serving as the third option. This strategic move to extend Collins indicates that he is the Texans' view as their primary wide receiver for the future. For fantasy football enthusiasts, Collins' new contract and solid performance make him a highly valuable asset. Being only 25 years old, paired with C.J. Stroud, Collins offers consistency, upside, and a long-term potential, making him a top target in 2024 drafts across all formats. As the Texans gear up for their oncoming season, the extension of Nico Collins marks a significant step in their quest to build a formidable offensive unit. Fans and fantasy managers alike will be eager to see how Collins and the revamped receiving lineup perform on the field. Even with the Texans adding Stephon Diggs this offseason, this move to extend Collins shows the view him as a true alpha of their future. I love Tank Dell, but he isn't built like a number 1 wide receiver and will most likely be a great number 2 for years to come. Diggs is only on a 1-year prove-it deal. I'm looking at Diggs to be their number 3 option in this offense behind Collins and slightly behind Dell. This view may raise some eyebrows, but I have a good feeling about this one. Collins becomes nearly unsellable in dynasty formats right now, being only 25 years old, tied to CJ Stroud for the foreseeable future. This stuff his fantasy managers are just dreaming of. The last year, he was just one of those sleepers, and now he is a top 12 wide receiver. Fantasy managers should continue to target Collins near the top of the 2024 drafts in all formats, as he offers consistency and upside as a long-term viability. So CJ Stroud, Nico Collins to the moon in 2024. Now let's hear a word from the Podfather.
Hey, why do we partner with the FFPC? Because they have the widest variety of fantasy football formats, and it's the easiest place to find all types of fantasy football contests in the world. What if you want to play for high stakes? Well, they have a $6 million prize pool with their Fantasy Players Championship. They also have way too early best ball leagues that start in February and dynasty leagues. They have the closest thing to a liquid market for orphans that there is in all of Dynasty. And the FFPC has sponsored us for half a decade because we are actually delivering information that can help fantasy gamers, and they're generating so much interest and bringing in so many new users, casual users even. The FFPC creates a unique experience where you can both compete against the best and make money. Use promo code UNDERWORLD to get $25 off your first team. $25 off your first team at the FFPC with promo code UNDERWORLD. Go get it!
Let's go get it, Podfather. Let's do it. Yeah, FFPC, one of the leading brands out there. $25 towards your first team. Awesome deal there. Now let's get in with our other headlines. All right, so organized team activities have started around the NFL, and with these organized events, we get a look at the new faces and new places. Another fun facet of the OTAs is that we get to see the rookies take the field, practice with the veterans. Plenty of first players are expected to make their immediate impacts in 2024. Below, we will break down a few rookies making headlines in OTAs, and we will start with the quarterbacks. We'll deep dive into them. They are in their new situations, and it'll be interesting to see how their coaches look at them, how they are feeling in their new offenses, and what the outlook in 2024 is looking like. So let's dive into that with our headlines. So we're going to start with Caleb Williams in Chicago. And while football games aren't won in May, the Chicago Bears top draft pick Caleb Williams is already making waves during OTAs. The number 1 overall pick has shown flashes of his potential, putting highlight reel plays on film that are circulating around social media. But more importantly, Williams is earning the praise and of his work ethic, his integration with the team. Head coach Matt Eberflus spoke highly of Williams, his dedication, and the impact on his team. Just in the terms of him as a person, it's been outstanding, Eberflus says. Eberflus highlighted the growing relationship between Williams and backup quarterback Tyson Bagent and the coaching staff, noting the positive atmosphere in the quarterback room. Despite a challenging day on last Thursday, where Williams completed just 3 passes during the 7-on-7 period, Bears beat reporter Nicholas Morano noted that such struggles are expected of any rookie. Williams have shown the elite traits that's been made of the first-round overall pick. He was a standout from USC. He has all the makings to be an elite NFL quarterback. While the transition from college to NFL can be volatile, the potential rewards are immense. A top-tier quarterback can anchor a team for more than a decade, and Williams' elite off-script playmaking ability plus level arm talent is a sneaky athleticism and is making him as a promising prospect. In 2024, Williams will be surrounded by a strong supporting class that includes DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet, and fellow rookie Rome Odunze, all 4 veteran players, finished in the top 24 at their respective positions in 2023, providing Williams with a robust set of weapons to aid his transition into the NFL. Williams' situation is notably better than any of the last top rookie quarterbacks. CJ Stroud in particular, he has a higher rushing floor than Stroud and a better overall supporting cast than Stroud did last year. Williams is poised for a strong rookie season. Fantasy football analysts project Williams as a top 12 quarterback in 2024 with even higher potential in dynasty formats. I'm on that train. With this landing spot and the addition of Odunze, Williams is considered a top 10 quarterback in dynasty leagues even before taking his first NFL snap. Some analysts are bullish on him, establishing him ahead of Joe Burrow, me included, predicting as a top 5 NFL quarterback in 2025. So that's my prediction for Caleb Williams going into the season and into 2025. Caleb Williams is quickly becoming the centerpiece of the Bears' future, and expectations are sky high for this rookie and beyond as he continues to develop and integrate with the team. Bears fans and fantasy managers alike have a lot to look forward to. And, this seems to be an ongoing story with the Bears, and always some optimism heading into their camps. After last year, people were really optimistic about the situation. Justin Fields was getting put in, and now this is happening again. Hopefully it's not deja vu. Hopefully with the supporting cast that Caleb Williams has, and I think will, he's going to really establish himself as a premier player in the NFL right out of the gate here. Now let's move on to our next rookie quarterback, and this one is coming out of the Washington Commanders, and new quarterback Jaden Daniels is already making waves during the offseason, not just with his on-field performance, but with his dedication and work ethic. Star defensive tackle Jonathan Allen noted that he was committed to, the team. He always beats me here. So that's a good situation to be in when your quarterback, your foundational asset, is there early in the morning. He's the first person on the job. That's really cool to see already coming out of the rookie. Daniels, we all know, showcased his continuous improvement as a passer. He came out of nowhere almost last year and had one of the most incredible, college seasons ever put together by a quarterback. He continuously improved his completion percentage each year while maintaining his electrifying running style, which combines, the elements of Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts, though with a more of a physical edge. Despite his impressive skills as a physical runner, it could pose some durability concerns. Like, he's not the biggest guy and he doesn't like to slide as much as I'd like to see, but as a rookie, he is expected to have a very, very safe floor with his dual threat capabilities. Offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury is likely to leverage both his arm and legs, making Daniels the day one starter. While there will be inevitable growing pains with rookie mistakes, Daniels has top 12 upside and a floor that should keep him within the top 20 quarterbacks all season long. Fantasy football managers should consider Daniels as a compelling option, particularly in 2 quarterback superflex leagues. While the talent surrounding Washington isn't as robust as Caleb Williams in Chicago, the Commanders have enough offensive weapons to help produce Daniels really good numbers. And look out for, I think Terry McLaurin is going to be on pace to have a very, very good season this year. And don't sleep on Luke McCaffrey as a late round sleeper for you folks. Given the uncertainties around rookie quarterbacks, Daniel has injury risk and he may not be the ideal choice as your starting quarterback initially. However, he's an excellent pick to stash on your bench with the potential to become a game change starter down the stretch. So maybe pair Daniels with a veteran later on in drafts if that's what's going to be your way of getting through it. So I would be looking at pairing Daniels with a guy like a Jared Goff or a Kirk Cousins that can, start the season for you. And then as Jaden Daniels comes in, he could take over. He's shown early commitment to the team and has set high expectations among him and the coaches. As the Commanders prepare for the upcoming season, all eyes will be on his development We're going to be looking at him quite a bit during training camp, and we're going to be excited to see what that offense is going to look like. Jaden Daniels has a lot to offer the Commanders, and they haven't had a guy like that since RG3. And look what happened in RG3's rookie season. So some are predicting a similar output this year for Jaden Daniels. If he could stay healthy throughout the whole season with the way he runs, wow, that's going to be an impressive season on the works here for Jaden Daniels if that can come to fruition. Now, the New England Patriots' first-year head coach, Gerard Mayo, made headlines with his straightforward assessment of number 3 overall pick, Drake May, during his rookie camp. He has a lot to work on. While this quote quickly went viral, it's important to consider the broader context. May has also earned significant praise from his teammates, including rookie wide receiver Jalen Polk. The guy can sling it, man. Polk told ESPN. That's a good sign. It's good to develop chemistry. These both are rookies, and they could be relying on each other. The development has been the focal point in the Patriots OTAs, and he's received, some footwork lessons from what I've been told. Standing at 6'4", weighing at 230 pounds, May brings a combination of power and prowess and mobility. He was the ACC Offensive Player of the Year and the Conference's Player of the Year in 2022. He had 4,300 yards passing, 38 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions with 700 yards on the ground in those seasons. He threw, last season he threw 3,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, and also ran for 449 yards and 9 touchdowns. He has that ability to run, although it's not going to be the focal point of his game. He has that ability as well. Despite the initial concerns about the Patriots supporting infrastructure, their new quarterback, the team bolstered their offensive arsenal in 2024. Alongside May, the Patriots added tight end Jaheim Bell, receivers Jalen Polk and Javon Baker. Polk is known as a contested catch ability and his effectiveness against zone coverage, while Baker's fluid movement, skills, and physicality make him a promising outside receiver, provided he addresses his drop issues. May isn't widely regarded as an elite dual threat quarterback, but his ability to contribute in the running game should not be underestimated. Like I mentioned earlier, while his rushing production is projected to be lower than fellow rookies Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, May remains a strong QB prospect, particularly in dynasty formats. In an offensive situation that may exceed early expectations, May is a valuable addition to fantasy rosters, especially in Superflex leagues. His blend of passing accuracy, his leadership, and mobility positions him as a compelling first-round pick in upcoming rookie drafts. As the Patriots continue their offseason preparation, all eyes will be on Drake May to see how he develops under the tutelage of Gerard Mayo and the veteran presence of Jacoby Brissett. The young quarterback's journey in NFL is just beginning, and fans and analysts alike are eager to see how he will hold up to some of the challenges he's going to face, especially with this young team and this very inexperienced wide receiver group. So a lot to uncover there in New England, and it'll be an interesting offseason, and it'll be a very, very interesting 2024. I'm really interested to see who emerges as the wide receiver 1 there in New England to go alongside Drake May. So we'll see what happens there. As we continue here, we're going to talk about JJ McCarthy. He was a polarizing figure throughout the pre-draft process, has found a promising landing spot with the Vikings under head coach Kevin O'Connell. Despite the pre-draft buzz of labeling him a top 5 quarterback pick, McCarthy ended up being the 5th quarterback selected. However, his fit with the Vikings appears to be an excellent match. Throughout the pre-draft evaluations, opinions on McCarthy varied widely. Some scouts and analysts were enthralled by his potential, while others were more cautious. Ultimately, McCarthy's selection by the Vikings places him in an environment that's conducive to his development, with O'Connell's offensive acumen providing an ideal framework for the young quarterback. The Vikings' decision to draft McCarthy reflects their confidence in his ability to transition to the NFL level. With his impressive arm strength and his potential, McCarthy is poised to make a significant impact as soon as he begins his professional career in Minnesota. As the Vikings gear up for their upcoming season, all eyes will still be on McCarthy as he adapts in NFL. The other thing here is, he hasn't been outright declared their starter either. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out in training camp. They did bring in veteran Sam Darnold, and there are some whispers saying that, they are going to let McCarthy sit and percolate a little bit. Some are predicting him, starting after their bye. We shall see, but it'll be interesting to see. I think McCarthy is set up to be in a good position for years to come with the Vikings, and they just got to get that deal done with Justin Jefferson to solidify his future and getting him set in stone. I think the Vikings could be poised in a couple of years to be a very good, solid team again. Now let's move on to Bo Nix, and he is standing at 6'2", weighing 214 pounds. He is set to mark his NFL debut with the Broncos after being selected in the NFL draft by them. Known for his, decent arm strength. He's got good mechanics, impressive mobility. Nix is a dual threat quarterback who can steal yards outside the pocket and protect the ball, pretty efficiently. Denver appears to be a pretty good landing spot for Nix, and he will be coached by Sean Payton, renowned for his success, tenure, and developing Drew Brees, or it could have been the other way around. The Broncos have a solid offensive line and a respectable receiving core, which includes Courtland Sutton and upcoming promising talent Marvin Mims, and they just drafted Troy Franklin, so that should be another situation to monitor. Sutton is coming off of one of his best seasons where he had 59 receptions for 772 yards, but the kicker here is that impressive double-digit 10 touchdowns. Although Sutton is currently sitting out for voluntary camp in hopes of restructuring his contract, a guy had 10 touchdowns, maybe he should get paid for it. His presence will be vital for Nix's success. Additionally, the Broncos did draft Troy Franklin, a highly regarded prospect, further bolstering their offensive weapons. The two played together with the Oregon Ducks, so they have a chemistry already. So I'm looking at Troy Franklin to be kind of a sleeper here, someone that you can scoop up later on in your drafts. He has the potential, especially if Courtland Sutton sits out, to come in and become a top target earner for the Denver Broncos right out of the gate, especially with that connection he has with Bo Nix. So with 5 years of starting experience in college, Nix brings a wealth of knowledge and maturity to the team. His college career includes a standout season with 45-3 touchdown TD interception ratio. His accuracy improved significantly during his first time at Oregon. When he got there from Auburn, Nix completed 59% of his passes there at Auburn. Where he came to Oregon, he completed 75% of his passes. Granted, he had a very much improved supporting cast around him, but I think that also had to play with his development. Given his extensive playing time in college, Nix is expected to transition quickly to the NFL. His ability to read defenses and exploit their weaknesses, coupled with his aggressive playing style and his leadership qualities, makes him a strong candidate to start for the Broncos right out of the gate. There's not much competition there. Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson, not really very threatening in my opinion. In fantasy football terms, Nix is projected to be a high-end QB3, making him a valuable pick in 2 quarterback leagues as a spot starter. While he may not be an immediate starter in standard redraft leagues, his draft capital and strong supporting cast in Denver significantly enhances his potential for impacting this year. As the Broncos gear up for an upcoming season, Bo Nix's development will be watched with the guidance of Sean Payton and the solid group of potential wide receivers he has, Nix has the opportunity to become a significant player in the NFL. Fans and analysts alike are eager to see what happens in Broncos training camp. So more news coming out. Another starter that could be right out of the gate starting for a team as a rookie. And these guys aren't being slept on. They aren't being let develop. So it'll be interesting to see which ones can rise up and which ones are going to fall through the cracks and become kind of like support number 2 quarterbacks in their year 2. So another guy that we need to touch base on, because Michael Penix is another quarterback that got drafted pretty highly. The Falcons made waves in the draft with the surprise selection of Michael Penix at the number 8 overall pick. The pick was sparked by both intrigue and criticism, especially after the Falcons had already signed veteran quarterback Kirk Cousins to a lucrative 4-year contract in the offseason. While Penix's path to playing time in 2024 is very uncertain, his early practice sessions have shown glimpses of his potential. He was reported to exhibited flashes of brilliance, but also pretty severe overthrows. So, pretty par for his course so far in his career as a college passer. He is your prototypical pocket passer. He's a mature 24-year-old with 6 years of college experience. So very head-scratching move. Bringing in a guy that you're probably going to sit behind Kirk Cousins for a year, maybe 2, and he's already old, having played 6 years in college. Interesting situation to monitor. If he does get the opportunity to play, he's going to be surrounded with those types of weapons like Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson. So he will have the immediate opportunity to be, an impact early if he can get into the game. And you don't know what is going to happen given Kirk Cousins' recent torn Achilles. At his age 36, Penix could see playing time if Cousins' injuries persist through the season. However, Penix won't be draftable in most redraft fantasy leagues initially. He could become a popular waiver wire addition if Kirk Cousins were to go down during the season. Despite the flaws, Penix's strong draft capital has seen him rise in rookie drafts, often landing him in the early second round. While his situation may raise eyebrows, his talent and potential make him a valuable long-term prospect for the Falcons. As the Falcons continue their offseason preparations, all eyes will be on Michael Penix to see if he can refine his game and live up to his potential. The raw talent is there. The support and the coaching staff seem to be there. So we'll see what happens with this unexpected draft pick from the Atlanta Falcons. So we're going to get through a couple news breaks that happened today, and then we'll wrap up the show. So wide receiver Juwan Jennings, it was a restricted free agent. He signed an extension through 2025 with the San Francisco 49ers. The 2-year contract is worth up to $15.4 million, which includes 10.5 of guaranteed money. Interesting move. Maybe, a backup plan, thinking that maybe one of either Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk could be on the move. I'm leaning towards Deebo Samuel. This could be an insurance policy, and that also makes me raise my eyebrow for one Ricky Pearsall, who could gain some steam now. So this could be an indicator that one of those top 2 wide receivers from the San Francisco 49ers could be on the move in the next little while. So keep your ears peeled for that, your ear to the ground. I would be looking at making moves for Ricky Pearsall right now in dynasty leagues, and before redraft, he probably will steam up the boards if this comes to fruition. He could, become a top 5 rookie wide receiver conversation if one of those guys is actually on the move. So look out, Ricky Pearsall. Draft capital was there from the San Francisco 49ers. He garnered first-round draft capital. That says a lot about what the 49ers plan to do with him. So It may be sooner than we think for Ricky Pearsall, so look out for that. That's an indicator there. The Jets are signing free agent running back Tariq Cohen to a 1-year deal. Cohen was one of the NFL's top return specialists and receiving threats before his injuries derailed his career. Cohen last played in the NFL in 2020 and will now attempt his comeback with the Jets. We all remember Tariq Cohen and how heartbreaking that was, year after year going down with injuries. I remember that 1 year he did perform well there. He was that all-purpose back from the backfield, just a target machine. I remember those days, but good on you. Hearing rumblings that Braylon Allen has solidified himself as the number 2 option behind Breece Hall. So with that news, take that for what you will, but he's getting steamed up now. So the Jets are bringing in some faces and looking to get some backup behind all-star elite running back Breece Hall. On Tuesday morning, Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator Joe Brady addressed the franchise offseason transition, shedding light on the team's direction for the upcoming 2024 season. Amidst a flurry of changes in Orchid Park, Brady's comments offered reassurance regarding the offensive outlook, asserting it at the end of the day, this is Josh Allen's offense. He emphasized as, collective echoes ran through the building. He's going to eat. This offense is going to eat, is said. So we'll see about that. They've got a really big shakeup in Buffalo. So maybe that's just hearsay. This approach may cap the upside of Allen's pass captures. Several Bills players warrant attention across fantasy formats. Running back James Cook, wide receiver Khalil Shakir, rookie sensation Keon Coleman, and tight end Dalton Kincaid all present compelling options for fantasy managers. However, it's worth noting that Curtis Samuel, MVS, Dawson Knox, and Mac Hollins are poised to command targets too, potentially tempering the fantasy production of the Buffalo primary receiving core in 2024. So some interesting situations. It's a situation we really got to pay attention to see who's getting the buzz in camp, who the starting 3 are going to be as at the wide receiver group, because that's going to be a lot of telling of where these targets are going to get spread out to and how they're going to run their offense. I'm going to be really interested to see how their backfield plays out too, with them bringing in Ray Davis as a backup to James Cook. And we saw the uses that James Cook got at the end of last year. So very interesting offseason for these Buffalo Bills. And I'm interested to see how they shake up against my Chiefs when my Chiefs go in to see them in week 11 there. So should be a good battle there. So Jameson Williams, has a determined force to be reckoned with, says Dan Campbell, head coach. Despite facing setbacks such as an ACL injury, a suspension for gambling last year, Williams has emerged this offseason with a renewed focus and dedication. His journey from recovering a year ago to overcoming his limitations, he has garnered praise from his coaches and teammates. So in the realm of fantasy football, Williams presents an intriguing opportunity, with the Lions refraining from significant additions at wide receiver during offseason. Aside from the departure of Josh Reynolds, Williams emerges as a versatile option, whether in best ball, dynasty, or late round in redraft leagues. He offers a potential across all formats. As this offseason unfolds, Williams is undoubtedly a player that we should be looking at more closely. And then before we wrap up the show, I just want to give a couple coverages to a couple players from the Green Bay Packers that made news. And one being Christian Watson has grappled with reoccurring hamstring injuries early in his career. Over the last 2 seasons, Watson has been sidelined for a total 11 games due to these lingering injuries. Determined to overcome his obstacle, he dedicated this offseason to finding a solution. Seeking expertise, Wilson turned to the University of Wisconsin, where he was uncovered a critical revelation: muscle imbalance. Armed with this knowledge, he embarked on a regimen focused on achieving symmetry between his hamstrings. By addressing this imbalance and bolstering his muscle strength, Watson aims to mitigate the risk of future injuries. Should this remedy prove successful, Watson stands poised to ascend as the primary wide receiver for the Packers. He has remarkable physical attributes, towering at 6'4". He's got explosive speed at 4.36. He boasts immense potential, particularly in best ball leagues. Watson's combination of size and athleticism makes him a compelling option even in later rounds. You got to watch out for those hamstrings. We hear a lot of talk about people getting steamed up in the offseason, recovering from their injuries, but he stung us once. He stung us twice. Do we really want him to sting us again? We will see. We'll let you make that gamble, but he's being priced as so with a lot of options in the Green Bay Packers young offense. We're going to see what happens in this offseason. And another injury that we got to be looking at is the newly acquired running back Josh Jacobs is currently undergoing rehabilitation for a hamstring injury. Observers spotted him on the sidelines engaging in sprints as part of the recovery regime. Despite his history of injuries, Jacobs appears to be making strides towards a return. According to head coach Matt LaFleur, while the injury doesn't appear to be severe, it's worth noting that Jacobs is rehabbing a soft tissue issue already. Last season, he missed 4 games with the Raiders due to a bruised thigh, following a 2022 campaign where he led the league in rushing yards without missing any games. In the realm of fantasy football, Josh Jacobs offers a versatility as a do-it-all running back. He aims to recapture his stellar form in 2022, where he concluded this season as the RB3 overall. With an improved offensive line and offensive scheme in Green Bay compared with his tenure with the Raiders, Jacobs is primed for success. A top 10 finish in fantasy rankings seems well within the reach for him this season, as long as he gets that opportunity. And, with Marshawn Lloyd in the mix too, that's someone we also got to keep our eye on, especially if Jacobs is nursing an injury. That's a guy that could really, really come in and steal the show right away. So someone like Marshawn Lloyd, if he gets the opportunity, could be explosive. So someone to keep an eye on for another backfield with injuries, another, Green Bay Packers situation where we're already dealing with injuries there. So hopefully that's not the case for the running back room as it was last year with Aaron Jones. All right. So that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in to Player Profiler today. I'm Grindberg. You can find me on the news desk for Player Profiler, where you'll find my stuff there. We're building this YouTube channel, so we're going to be coming out with some new shows in the near future. So stay tuned for some primetime shows here on Player Profiler, the news. So look out for that in the near future. You can find me on the Fantasy Football Advice Network, Fantasy Football Plus Network, and also the Undroppables. So you can find my stuff there. You can find me at FF Canuck 99 and also the Player Profiler. So please be sure to follow me on all those platforms. That is it for Player Profiler today. I'm Grindberg, your host for Wednesday show slot. I'm excited to be reporting the news for Player Profiler. Moving forward, you can find me here. You can also find Bradley Stalder. That's tomorrow night's slot. He's bringing it every Thursday night, so be sure to tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time for when Bradley brings you the news. All right, that's it for today on Player Profiler today. For everyone at Player Profiler, we hope you win. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, I want to thank you for being part of this broadcast. If you have any thoughts on it, leave a comment. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. And if you want to see more shows on the Player Profiler channel, subscribe to it. That's how we know you want more.